Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Chismosita Amy here. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, and if you aren't new, go and subscribe. Okay, so the first step is we're going to do brows, and I'm going with my AOA Slim Brow Pencil in dark brown and the AOA Waterproof Eyebrow Gel in dark brown. So I don't really use eyebrow pencils, but you know, let's roll with it. So this eyebrow pencil has a spoolie at the end, and it also like twists, and as you can see, it's super skinny, which is good. And now I'm just going to brush my eyebrow hairs with the spoolie, and then I will use the pencil to outline the bottom of my brows and also the top of my brows, and we're just gonna speed up this process a little bit. Now I know that it doesn't look perfect, obviously, because I haven't put in the gel and I haven't cleaned my brows, but you know, we're gonna go with it, and so far so good. Okay, so now I'm going with the gel, and it comes in this little like squeeze tube, and as you can see, it's just kind of like very liquidy, and I've never seen a gel like this before. They usually come in like a different bottle with its own spoolie. So I just put a little bit on the spoolie, and I just kind of blended the product into my brows, and I like a natural brow, so I just kind of went with it and didn't put too much product, and so far so good. I really like it. So now I'm going with my AOA Studio Nude Soft Base Eye Primer to just carve a little bit under my brows, just for that little effect, and as you can see, I'm just doing it real quick. I've had this primer for a little while, and I'm just using it to on my lids, and I'm just using my finger here to spread it a little bit, but then I am going to go with one of my Real Techniques brush, and I always use this to blend my concealer on my eyelids or my eye primer, and I absolutely love it. It works pretty good. Next, I'm going with my AOA Studio Buttercream Gel Liner and Shadow in Dance Fever. So it's like a pink, like a hot pink, and I'm just going in with one of my AOA brushes, and I'm using that kind of as a base for the eyeshadow, and it's really pigmented, so I really liked it. So now off camera, I'm just going to use my Take Me Back to Brazil palette to finish my eyes. Next, I'm going with the AOA Eyes on Me liquid liner in Edgy, and it's just a black. Okay, so I took it out, and the tip looks pretty good, and I'm sorry that you can't really see because I always struggle with eyeliner because I'm really blind and I need to be super close. But I noticed that this one was a little bit thicker than the other one that I have from AOA, but it still works, but I would still preferably use the other one because it has such a finer tip and it's so much easier to work with. But this isn't that bad if you want something quick. So I finished the eyes, and I also used the other eyeliner in pink, and it turned out pretty good. And now I'm going to use the AOA Fat Lash Mascara, and I've used this before, so I really like it. Next, I'm going with the A Plus No Pore Face Primer, and it has like this clear consistency, and I just put it on all over my face, and it felt pretty good, and I did notice that my pores weren't as visible as they usually are. Now I'm going to go with foundation, and I have two, so that one I'm going to put on one side and one on the other. And I'm going to use a sponge as well from Shop Miss A. On my right side of my face, I'm going to use the AOA Drop Liquid Foundation in Pure Beige. And oh no, it kind of fell on my shirt, but honestly I just wasn't really careful. But I mean, I kind of like the liquid function of it. It's pretty cool. And now I'm just blending it in with that sponge, and I just kind of went with this quick because I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, and from the looks of it, it's blending pretty good, and it is medium to full coverage, and so far I really liked how it looked on me, and yes. Now on the left side, I'm going with the Pop Pop Pro Wear Foundation in Pure Beige. And the tube is kind of like a little squeezy tube. And I don't really know how I feel about it, but I mean, it didn't make such a mess as the drop one, the drop liquid foundation one. And then I'm just going with the same sponge, and I'm just going to blend that out and see how it compares to the other side of my face. But from the looks of it, it is also medium to full coverage, and it looks pretty good on my skin, and you couldn't really tell a difference of like different tones or anything like that since it was the same shade. Next, I'm going with my AOA Perfect Press Powder in the shade Nude. This is my the one that I already have, and I'm just going in with a brush and I'm just kind of packing that in to set my face. I did restock on this, but this is my older one that I have. Next, I got the Papa Liquid Concealer in Fair Ivory and Light Ivory. I can't remember which one I used. I think it might have been the Light Ivory, but honestly, I don't remember. But it is a little squeezy tube, and what I ended up doing was just kind of taking a little bit out of the tube and just kind of putting it on the areas where I wanted to conceal my, my under eyes. And I didn't want to put a lot either, just to be safe. And now I'm just using that same sponge to blend that out. And this concealer I definitely like a lot more than the other one that I used in my last video. This one is a lot more blendable and the color is a little bit better, so thumbs up for that. Now I'm using my AOA pressed powder in the shade Banana to set my under eyes. I also have the shade Matte Translucent, but that one gives too much flashback, so I like using the Banana, and I'm just using my Real Techniques brush on this. Next, I'm going with this bronzer that I got a while ago. I don't really like the shade, but it's going to have to do. It's the only bronzer I have from Shop Miss A. I honestly don't know why I'm using this brush. I just picked the wrong one, so we'll change. I switched brushes to this other one from Shop Miss A, and it's really good. It blended out the product a lot better. The bronzer isn't too great of a color, but we're going to have to work with it, and you know, it didn't turn out too bad. Next, I'm going with this AOA Perfect Blush. I don't remember the shade of it, but it's like a kind of like a pink, and it's pretty bright, and I absolutely love it. And I'm just using a stippling brush to press that onto my cheeks. And it's really good. They have really nice colors in their blushes. Next, I'm going with the Wonder Baked Highlighter. I don't remember the shade. And then I'm going with a fan brush from Shop Miss A as well, and just highlighting that in the areas where I want to highlight. These highlights are really great, either dry or wet. They're very good. You can use it dry if you don't want too much of an intense highlight, but you can also get it wet so you can have a more intense. And so I really like it, especially when I'm doing like natural looks or even just for like the inner corner highlight. Next, I'm going with the AOA So Smooth Lipstick Maui Collection in the shade Shore. And as you can see, that one came a little defective because it was not twisting up. And I was getting really frustrated because I was like, what the heck? This is like new. And then the top came off, so that even made me even more frustrated. I was able to put it back on and like kind of twist it, but it was still really hard. But the shade is actually really cute. It's like a really pretty nude, and it didn't feel overwhelmingly dry on my lips. So that was good, but just the packaging sucked. Next, I'm going with the AOA Squaw Lips Clear Lip Gloss, and the applicator is pretty good, and it didn't feel bad on my lips. It also smelled really, really good. So you can never go wrong with a clear lip gloss. And for only $1, like, it was pretty good. Like, it was not sticky at all. It just overall looked great and felt great. And the last step is using my AOA setting spray just to set all that makeup. And then we're pretty much done. And this is the completed look, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Chismosita Amy. Love you all so much. Bye-bye.